Have you ever received medical care in the United States? Do you wonder how decisions are made about which treatment or which route to take in making you well again? Do you wonder who's finding the cure for diseases such as leukemia? I've chosen to investigate how nurses are involved in the development of health policy. Follow me as I explore how the National Institute of Health Clinical Nursing Research follows its mission of promoting and improving the health of individuals, families, and communities by conducting clinical and basic research and research training on health and illness, research that spans and integrates the behavioral and biological sciences, and that develops the scientific basis for clinical practice. I was welcomed into the NIH Clinical Center to find out more about how nurses play a role in the research conducted inside. In 1944, the Public Health Service Act, authorized by congressional mandate, established the National Institute of Health Clinical Center in order to investigate the big killers of the day. In July 1955, the doors opened to a 14-story, 500-bed hospital with over 1,000 laboratories devoted to conquering such killers as cancer and heart disease. This research hospital is located in Bethesda, Maryland. The NIH brings together physicians, biochemists, nutritionists, pathologists, and nurses for a new synthesis of medical knowledge set on the stage of the clinical center. The research conducted at the center builds the scientific foundation for clinical practice.
This center is not a hospital. You don't get in here by being sick. You don't get in for medical care. You only get in for medical research. Every step of their treatment will be explained to them as we go along, and they may leave at any time.
And a benefit to being a research participant is patients will not be charged.
At the NIH Clinical Center, you not only have the best and brightest and the best possible medicine that you can have, but you also have the best care that you can receive. This is largely the responsibility of the nurses. The nurses are incredibly intelligent, they're responsible, and they're happy to be there because they're given a great deal of responsibility and respect. And they really could be paid more money.
At first, nurses' patient care duties were limited. Physicians controlled everything, and a nurse could neither hang an IV bag nor alter the rate. However, very soon they began taking on more responsibilities. They became partners with doctors in the research effort, and their team efforts became an important feature of clinical research done at the clinical center. Research at the clinical center allows the nurses to have a say in what nurses on the outside will be practicing. Research nurses play a dominant role in patient care.
As a nurse at the bedside, I'm giving drugs or participating in surgeries that have never been done on the human population before. Essentially, as a clinical research nurse, I'm using the nursing process to identify and address any issues or complications that may arise at the bedside. It's like I'm actually getting paid to think.
I've met up with clinical research nurse Bobby McBobby to get more information on her role at the clinical center. Bobby, what do you do here?
Well, as a clinical research nurse, I'm sort of on the front lines of patient care. I'm a participant advocate, and I'm responsible for patient safety and integrity of protocol data. I'm also responsible for ongoing maintenance of informed consent, all within the context of effective and appropriate clinical care.
And what are your specific tasks that are involved in your job?
Well, a key piece of my role is to monitor research participants and report potential adverse events that might be happening to them. And I report those events to the research team. I'm also responsible for collecting research data, such as vital signs, administration of research interventions, specimen collections, and collecting participant responses in an approved source document, such as a medical record.
So those are things that a typical nurse would do in a typical type of hospital. Where does patient protection come into play in your practice? Are there legal or ethical questions involved?
Well, as with all the research that's conducted in any realm of the science, ethics is at the forefront of every turn. In accordance with the Nursing Code of Ethics, which is what nurses practice under, the highest priority of clinical research is to protect human subjects from undue harm by upholding the principles of participant rights, patient safety, and continuity of care.
Wow, it really sounds like you're on top of your game here. That's great.
We have a great team here, and we're all in it for the same reasons.
Clinical research nursing is recognized by the American Nurses Association as a specialty practice. Nurses play other roles at the clinical center, including the behind-the-scenes work that goes into clinical research.
Hi. My role here is to recruit and enroll patient participants. I'm in charge of consistency of studies, conducting data management, and maintaining integrity. I'm also in compliance with the regulatory requirements and reporting requirements.
Here I'm sitting down with Research Nurse Coordinator Daniel LaDanielson to find out a little more about what he does here at the NIH Clinical Center.
Here at the NIH, nurses have really served as leaders in the healthcare research world. We have advanced the profession of nursing by playing an integral role in the development of evidence-based practice. Here at the Clinical Center, we are conducting research that contributes to the science by disseminating clinical expertise to the medical community through presentations, publications, and interactions with nursing colleagues. We can also serve as expert witnesses. Nurses may select roles in several areas where they will support research for any of the NIH's 22 areas of research, such as the National Cancer Institute, the Heart and Lung Institute, and the Blood Institute.
Wow, 22 areas of research. That's quite a lot. Can you tell me more about the specific types of research that's conducted here and how it comes about?
Well, along with leukemia and AIDS research, we also focus on topics such as how patients are dealing with stress and coping with illnesses. And we also focus our research on the role of caregivers in regards to topics such as role strain, stress and coping, and physical and emotional well-being.
Wow. How do you find participants to be in your studies?
Well, we don't pick the patients, they are referred by physicians.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing this information with me. Sounds like you're doing a lot of great work here at the Clinical Center.
Now let me check for lice.
Oh boy. I like that.
Record.
So those are things that nurses the nurses do. So I'm sitting down with research nurse I keep saying
Noise.
because I'm trying to say nursing coordinator at the same time, nursinator. The nursing. Okay. Here I'm sitting down with research nurse coordinator.
We've got to do a run of these bloopers of trying to say
Get
this.
it out. Okay.
My role here is to recruit and enroll patients, subject participants. I also ensure consistency of the study. All right, I gotta start all over again.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, just
No,
go.
we just don't.
As a nurse at the bedside, let me do that again so I don't look at Hannah.
Tell me more about what type of research is conducted here and how it comes about.
I need my other paper. I ripped this off.
No, what you're not.
He's like, that sounds like wrong. We're getting ad-libby here.
Our research studies have become more focused on the practice of
That one kind of.
It's like one fucking sentence.
That's okay. Read it over and then do it.
All right. Along with leukemia and AIDS, caregiver role adjustment.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Along with cancer, yada yada yada, we also focus on things like caregiver strain.
All right.
Because it kind of sounds weird going into it.
Should you stop it?
Yeah, we'll stop it.
Yeah, stop it, then hit play.
Along with leukemia and AIDS treatment.
Nursing by playing an integral role in the development of evidence-based practice.
This is surreal.
Here at the clinical center, we are conducting.
Hi, you can see her in the screen.
This is large.
That's okay. That's okay.